Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Cone Dodger here. Welcome back to the iRacing Grand Touring Cup Series. This week we are taking our Mustang around the ring, the Green Hell. It's been quite some time since I've done any races on the ring, specifically in iRacing, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge for me this time around. Not that every week isn't a challenge for me, but even more of a challenge for me. The main objective, of course, will be to do 3 laps around the ring. This is the classic layout. I don't remember the exact terminology for it, but without the GP track as part of it. So let's see what we can do.
If it goes anything like my last Nordschleife race, I'm just going to hot lap.
Yeah, mine's definitely going to be a hot lap. I just looked at qualifying results.
Mm-hmm.
743, 743, 750, 751, and then me with an 8 minute.
Good luck, guys.
Oh,
Alright, here we go for the last race of the Mustang season. And unfortunately, it looks like we're stuck in another situation where we have split, and we've split away from the other person racing with us. That is Gem Knight. He is in bottom split, I am in top split. I 100% don't belong in this top split because I am dramatically slower than the rest of the field. So it's going to be kind of the typical Nürburgring experience where we do 3 laps and try to survive. Luckily it is the Nürburgring, so I mean, there's fun to be had just in doing laps around here for sure.
that start is horrible.
We haven't started yet. We'll be seeing which of the two of us survive, I suppose.
Green, green, green.
Getting squirrely already up there.
You have about
It's
5
not
laps.
impossible that we don't finish last in the Mustang field, but it's not probable. It's just the honest truth of it. I've not run a ring race in quite some time, and there's a lot of what I call ring chasers here that people that specifically love running Nürburgring
Help, I
just
forgot
run
how to
series.
drive.
will just run series that feature this track. So they run a lot, even if they're not as familiar with the cars. So hopefully, maybe, other than that guy's incredible lag, our experience and knowledge of the Mustang will let us overcome some of these other guys that are here. As I think I know the pace I need to run and what I need to do to at least get this car to make it to the end of the race. This is one of the trouble spots for this car here, as the nose lifts off the ground. One thing this car does extremely well is brakes. It's very comfortable and very good on the brakes, which is nice. That's a good thing to have around the ring. That was, I want to say it was Formula Renault. Oh god, this guy's connection. Why? There's another trouble spot. You see the nose push out real bad there. I want to say it was Formula Renault was the open wheel car around here that I really struggled with the brakes. So that's at least a point of comfort. But yeah, it's really the front end grip that has been my struggle all of my practice time here. There's a couple places where the back end wants to dance around, but that's pretty manageable. The other thing to manage here is how much curb to use, how much curb is safe to use. That is probably not the safest amount to use. Using the brakes there to help the back end rotate. That's a section where in a car with less comfortable brakes is not quite as easy, but not so bad here. interesting that I'm keeping up at all with these guys. They must have a much more aggressive qualifying pace than I do. Qualifying here different than we run in the rest of the series, where that is a separate session instead of with the race session. So you do that beforehand. Long line there. Kind of staying right in this central zone between 5 and the 6 and ahead of the 9 car. It's a nice comfortable place to be. I'm able to judge some of the braking points off of the cars ahead of me for now, which I oh so desperately need around here. Here's another tricksy one. Yep, very tricksy as the front end tries to push wide on you. Then one of the hardest braking zones on the track. Down to second gear. Try not to let the back end dance too much here. As they do. And now the carousel. I may not race here very much, but I know the layout pretty well. I just don't exactly know this car's kind of handling characteristics around here. Flat through here. Yeah, this is a section that I kind of particularly struggle with. Too much curve there. Really pushing the nose. It really slide the front tires a lot. The car ahead of me was doing much of the same thing, which is actually kind of baiting me into doing even worse than I typically do through there. Hanging pretty tough right now. I'm really pleased. Easy one to go off on. Now for the bit of a jump as we go over the crest of this hill. So we're gonna go crest and then shift. So you pushed it a lot harder through there. You're really pushing it doing that, pushing your luck. It's an easy spot to run wide. Bit more curve than I want to use there. Trying to keep it easy through here. No reason to push too hard as of now. Even more so now that it seems like the car behind me has had a bit of an off somewhere. Definitely lost some time through that section. Easy car. Alright, now break time. Get a drink. Stand up and stretch. No, I wish I could do that. Get 5th gear here. Certainly not 6th gear. This car has a 6th gear, but in racing conditions, you're never going to use it. Maybe if we had a super big high-speed oval. Not even on this super long straightaway. That gear exists for no reason other than NPGs. As long as that straightaway is, it's not enough time to relax. He's now right back into it. Fighting that understeer. All through there. Alright, 3rd of the race done.
7 minutes, 55.
Alright, 1 lap down. Have you lived?
Uh-huh.
You lived.
Top 3 ball broken away. I'm in 2nd.
Starting to lose contact with the 6 here. Now that he's kind of spaced it out between the car in front of him, I think that's what might bring us back in, is if those two get to racing a bit again. Keep us relevant to that fight.
I'm kind of at the point just waiting for the leader to make a mistake. I have a second back right now.
It can happen anywhere. Had my best lap, that's for sure, 750.
Nice.
It's amazing what following the super fast guys will do for you for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna happen again.
Yeah.
I've already lost contact to him.
Oh,
You want to do that?
That is... I'm actually a little confused right now if that's an inflated lap time or deflated lap time, I
Yeah,
guess,
you almost ran me over and took me both out.
via
You
the
wouldn't even make the corner.
via the opening lap or something? No, I can't imagine so, because we crossed the first sector line. I don't know. I guess it was just increased pace via having some driver instructors in front of me. But now I've lost my instructors all by myself. So let's just try and keep it nice and smooth. They're going to be racing each other here. Maybe they'll force each other into a mistake or something. Yeah, that's closed right back up in front of us. Just like Jem was saying, some of it's just a matter of riding around and hoping the car in front of you ends up making a mistake. It's the easiest way to make a pass here. Apart from maybe a drafting pass on the backstretch. Which, as we've noted, this car does not draft past very well. I suppose because it makes so little downforce. But I mean, ton of drag. It's got no shortage of that. It is a racing car brick after all. Nice and smooth. Try not to slide the front tires nor the rear. I do feel like now that they are closed together, we are closing in a little bit again. Still staying a decent healthy distance away from the 9. Real tight here. Big time understeer. Probably should have hit second. But we got out of the turn okay. This is what I consider, there's a bunch of turns through here, but what I consider to be the backstretch. Another little point of rest.
We have about 2 laps of fuel left.
Well, good, because we have about a lap and a half of race left. Get this carbony out. She's going to grab a little bit of brake this time, because yeah, the front tires not nearly as pleased with their existence as they were on the previous lap. Hard on the brakes here. Easy on the sliding. Need these two to close it up again. They're playing it too nice. Popped out of the carousel banking a little early there. Looks like 6 has lost to 5 a little bit here. Tires definitely starting to feel a little worse at this point. Yep, big time understeer right there. Just let it, don't do anything dramatic with it. Just let it slowly find grip. This kind of car, it's very rare you're going to have some kind of big dramatic steering input, brake input, or throttle input correct any of its issues.
He seems to know the track better than me.
And lap half in, I definitely don't like my front tires anymore, and they don't like me.
The real question is, do you have jets?
No jets yet. And I have not been passed by any Jettas, so it's not all bad. We'll probably hear it next lap, but what he means by jets, whoa, too much curb, is, there's a sound that the tires will make when they've, like, glazed over or whatever. I know it probably doesn't even model glazing over, but there's a certain point where the tires get to a certain temperature where they make a sound. It sounds like a jet taking off. That's when you know they're really, truly gone.
I'm glad that curb appeared in the middle of the turn.
Like it physically appeared?
Yeah, exiting to the final straightaway, or the long straightaway. On the inside, it's like grass, and then just suddenly a curb right at the end of the turn.
Good old iRacing.
I think it's something with the track, but I don't know why they would just have the curb start right at the exit of the turn on the inside.
Oh, I see what you mean now. Kart track's very nice and true. Don't have to fight it down the straightaway. What are we going to be in the 57s this lap? 58s maybe? Still, I have really struggled to be sub 8 at all, so I would not be displeased with that time. Not one little bit. Probably would have been a nah, 58.8. I'm still okay with that. Lap 2, 58.8.
All it was a 52.9.
Yikes. I wonder how much of that is draft. I noted that this car doesn't get a lot of it, but if you're going to be constantly following another car all the way around, I'm sure it does pick up speed around straightaways and such. The 9 has very slowly been catching. I'm just trying to play it cool. I noticed the 6 had a moment ahead of us. We had some smoke in the track, and now there's quite a gap between the two of them. It'd be pretty incredible if the entire field had 0 incidents, not a single car off. Really would show the caliber of driver we're with here. Try not to push those front tires. It's nice that we don't have to lap anybody here. That would be really abysmal, trying to pass solstices and such on this track. If you really want to call it a track. It's honestly really a rally course that happens to connect back to itself. That's my summary of the ring. I feel like Bernard has had a moment or something. And maybe he's just back down. Starting to hear a little bit of the jets there. No need to push hard to catch up or to run away, though. We're in pretty fine placement right now. On that downshift, that'd be a terrible way to end this race and the season. Blow up a motor.
I almost binned it.
Me too. Possibly almost in the same spot, considering.
That cambered right-hander uphill.
No, it was the turn right before that.
Oh.
One with the wall, I almost smacked that wall. Ugh. Frederick has closed a bunch. This is not a said and done deal at this point. Really not feeling comfortable in the car right now. But pushing it harder is only going to make it worse. Come on, keep turning. Oh man. Feels like I'm negotiating with this car to get it to go around the track. Negotiating with a bank robber. I got news for your car. I don't have much to rob. Stay in the bank this time. Nope. Pop to the inside that time. If I'm gonna do one or the other, I'd rather top the inside than the outside. And here's the section where we lose front end grip the most, so be real careful. Keep it off the curbs. Fighting with it pretty good there. There was the jets. Just for a brief second. Yeek. All four tires pretty upset now. Is pretty bad. I wonder if I've got tire pressure issue, I'm not sure. It doesn't even feel like the same car that we started the race with. 2.8. I could see him in my mirror, and I'm pretty sure I just saw him smack the wall. Fairly certain of it. And I see the gap going up. So he must have been pushing it pretty good. Well, let's try not to do the same. Just a few turns left.
Well, it's gonna be a drag race. 7/10.
Good luck.
I'm 7/10 back at the start of the straightaway.
You got this. Using that to judge kind of where I am versus Jim. I guess we would have been fairly decently paired, considering he started his race a little bit sooner. Honestly, I'm very impressed that I see anybody in front of me. I was convinced that I would just completely lose contact with the entire front of the field. Looks like we had a pass for the lead here in the last lap. No incidents. Not a single car in front of us had any incidents.
Oh, what was that?
Uh-oh.
He forced me off the track at the start-finish line.
Got video?
Replay.
We gonna need to see that. Ooh! Thought I was gonna bin it in the last turn.
There's the flag, man. It's over.
It is over. And I
Good
am
job,
exhausted.
driver.
A really unfortunate situation for Jem there. That is some low quality driving, I would say, on part of the leader of that race. Sure, you defend as much as you can to win, but that is taking it to the extreme and taking the sport out of motorsports. But for our race, it was good, it was clean, it was all I could hope for the ring. Our best lap time of a 7:58.8 is my best lap time around the ring in this car so far, so no disappointment there. It's actually, I guess, a little bit quicker than the car ahead of me. However, the first lap was the difference, and it could be that he had an incident on his fastest lap. But I was happy to hang a little bit there with Bernard, but we finished where we finished. Like I said, we didn't bin it. I can't complain. That is it for the season here in the Grand Touring Cup. It was interesting. We had a few races there that we didn't get to run thanks to the lack of participation in the series, which was a bummer, but I think we made the most of it. Had fun racing with Gem Knight, Sharky, and Yames on occasion, and I think next season we'll be doing more of the same. I know for sure Gem Knight's going to run with us in the Skippies series. That'll be my first time running in the Skippies, and it's a very different series. That series gets 3 to 4 splits per race, races every hour. It's an extremely popular division, so things, like I said, will be very different than we saw in the last couple seasons here of iRacing. But thanks everybody for watching and continuing to support, and I will see you next time.